Welcome back. In our previous video, we laid the foundation by defining statistics and exploring its classification. Today, we are moving forward to the next section of Chapter 1, Stages of Statistical Investigation. Now, from formulating a question to drawing conclusions, we will walk through each step that transforms raw data into meaningful insights. Stay with me. Now let us begin by defining what statistical investigation is. Statistical investigation is nothing but the process of using data to answer a question, solve a problem, or making informed decision systematically. In doing so, statistical investigation involves 5 stages. What the first stage is collecting data, gathering data from reliable source by some means. It can be using surveys, experiments, or observation methods. Having collected the data, what the next stage is organization, meaning that arrange the collected raw data into a structured format. Here under organization stage, we can clean the data, we can code the data as the case may be. Having organized the raw data, we proceed to the presentation. Presentation stage of statistical investigation is nothing but displaying the data graphically for easy understandable and facilitating comparison. So presentation is nothing but displaying the data graphically or tabular form. Having done so, what the next is analysis. Analysis is nothing but extracting numerical information using appropriate statistical methods. Can be measures of central tendency, dispersion, correlation, regression, or something else related. Having analyzed the data, what the next step is interpretation and decision making according the results found under the fourth stage, which is analysis. Here at this stage, we interpret the result related to the real world context and we inform policy, recommend to actions, drawing conclusions, forecasting. And at the same time, this stage can lead us to new questions and data. This can serve as a cyclical input to the first stage, collection stage 2, right? So the stages of statistical investigation can be considered as a cyclical process. Solve an imposed question. It is important to note that before getting into these 5 stages of statistical investigation, first we need to have title of investigation. We need to have identified problem to be solved through these stages of statistical investigation. So to illustrate this all, let's walk through each stage of investigation with example. In doing so, let us consider the title of investigation entitled Impact of New Water Scheme in the Afar Region. Here, 100 households was used as a sample across 5 districts. Was the first stage to investigate this topic of research is nothing but gathering raw data from reliable source is the first stage, right? This data can be primary or secondary, where the primary source of data is nothing but directly collected under the supervision of the researcher or investigator, whereas secondary data is nothing but official records which is collected by someone else. Even though it is collected by someone else, we can bring to our benefit by making some sort of arrangements, right? In this context, in investigating this impact of new water scheme in Afar region, both data source was collected. For example, we collected primary source from those 100 households through distributing enumerators across the 5 districts, right? So these enumerators used structured questionnaires to collect health status such as cases of diarrhea in the past 30 days, water consumption, liters per day per household, water collection time, minutes per trip, and something related else. And official records was gathered such as rainfall records from local meteorological stations and clinic reports or waterborne diseases. This stage data collection has been implemented successfully. In doing so, a lot of things has been made before beginning data collection, such as managing, logistics, training, numerators, that leads to have quality data, because no quality data, no quality result. Garbage in, garbage out. We have to remember these things. So this is important stage of any statistical investigation. Was the second stage of statistical investigation, data organization. Here at this stage, we arrange the data in a structured format. For example, the data may seems to be like this, where the data is now structured in such a way that there are rows and elements appropriately. At this stage also, we can clean the data. For example, we can remove duplicates, handling missing values, and correcting any inconsistencies. Or we can code variables here, such as turning from categorical to numerical, or from numerical to categorical versions. Or we can group data by district, gender of household head, age category, right, to make comparisons or something related objectives. What's the third stage is nothing but data presentation. Data presentation is nothing but displaying the data graphically. This is for easy understanding and facilitating comparisons. For example, in our context, we may present bar chart which compares average water collection time across districts, right? Or we can plot pie chart showing proportion of households with improved water access. Or we can plot table comparing disease rate before and after the scheme, right? For example, let us see the bar charts. We try to present the average water collection time across the 5 districts in the region. So from this, easily we can understand that highest average water collection time was apparent in zone 1, the next zone 3, right? Whereas zone 2 and zones 5 are with low water collection time. And we can understand similarly average area cases per household across districts in Afar. For example, zone 1 and zone 3 are now displaying highest diarrhea cases per household. This is true from the fact that long collection time leads to lower water quality and quantity, right? And at the end of the day, this leads high risk of diarrhea cases. So from this we can understand even graphically, average diarrhea cases is highly correlated with water collection time. So the fourth stage of our statistical investigation to solve the entitled topic of investigation is nothing but data analysis. Now at this stage, we extract relevant numerical information using statistical methods. Still we have been data presentation, organization, collection. Now we reach at the fourth stage, which is the stage where we extract relevant numerical information using statistical methods. At this stage, we can make use of many statistical methods to extract numerical information, such as mean, standard deviation of water consumption, correlation between water access and disease reduction. We can t-test comparing pre and post-scheme health outcomes, right? At the end of the day, we can summarize as a findings, such as average water consumption increased from 85 liter to 110 liter, right? Diarrhea cases dropped from 2.1 to 0.7 per household. Note that this trend, 85 to 110, is a trend now. We are comparing baseline survey output and the intervention output. 85 liter is the baseline output, whereas this 110 liter is the intervention program output. Now we are comparing two programs, before intervention and after intervention of the program, meaning what the program is nothing but introducing the new water scheme to the region, right? So this was the numerical results obtained from this stage of analysis. Now the next stage will be interpretation. What these numbers implies with related to the real world, meaning that the information was taken from the unit of analysis, where our unit of analysis was households in our context. The interpretation of the result should turn back to this unit of analysis too. right? In this regard, we have to make interpretations considering this household into account, right? Now at this stage, we explain what the results mean and what actions to take. These all things can be made under this fifth stage of statistical investigation. For example, we can conclude the new water scheme significantly reduces disease and improved household water access. Zones with shorter collection time showed better health outcomes. This is extra strengthening the evidence, what we have said here in the first sentences. The program is effective and should be scaled up. This is a recommendation for policy makers or policy implications. Recommended expanding the scheme to remaining districts, prioritizing areas with longest collection times in such a way that we come up with meaningful results, insights that can serve as input for decision makers, policy makers, and for extra intervention recommendations.